On this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at the 2020 Specialized Diverge 1X. This is a 1x version of the 2020 Specialized Diverge, and we're going to go over some of the features and designs of this bike, as well as find out what it weighs. But we're also going to talk about why I think this is one of the best buys for a gravel bike in the lower price points of carbon. So let's go ahead and get started and take a look at this bike. So the 2020 Diverge has actually been in the same frame since 2018. So the frame came out in 2018, and as a disclosure, I owned and rode a ton of miles on a 2018 Diverge Carbon. I absolutely loved this bike, and I think the one we're taking a look at today, the 2020, is a really great build because it introduces a 1x drivetrain on a carbon gravel bike. And I think it's got the right specs to be able to buy one of these and just take it right out of the box and do some great miles without having to spend a whole ton of money. Now this Diverge does have a carbon frame. They've got two aluminum frames as well, but the carbon frame that's on here is what they call their Fact 9R carbon. So this is going to be carbon fiber. It's going to have very nice looking lines, of course internally cable routed. It's going to run flat mount disc brakes. And the other major feature on here that's a little controversial is that this runs a BB 386 bottom bracket. But one of the best things about this bike is going to be its ability to run all different types of storage. You can see the triplicate water bottle cage bolts there, the cage bolt underneath the crankset. You also have mounts for racks on the front and rear that are actually hidden, and you can run fenders on this bike. So it really allows a lot of different customizability. Plus you can route an internally cable routed dropper seat post should you want one of those on the bike. But the major thing that makes this bike as great as it is actually in the head tube here. So this actually has Specialized Future Shock. So the Future Shock is actually a 20 millimeter suspension on the top of the head tube. So that actually creates what they call axial suspension rather than splay. So that means while you're turning or braking, there's not going to be any, suspension bob, but it does allow for 20 millimeters of progressive suspension on the front end of the bike to be able to make sure that your hands stay very comfortable on rough roads. The other neat thing about this is it's got a drop stay in the rear. So that means the seat stays are actually dropped from where the top tube comes into this seat tube junction, and that allows the bike to have quite a bit more compliance. Now, a lot of times I hear people call the Diverge kind of the mountain biker's road bike, and I think that's true because this is going to have a lot of the same feel as a true mountain bike, as well as the capability, but in a road bike style package. Now, what isn't just a road bike is actually going to be tire clearance. So this bike is coming out of the box with 38C tires, and you can see there is plenty of room for extra meat. And in fact, this bike can run up to 700 by 42C tires, or it can also run 650B by 47. So that's going to allow a huge range of tire size as you need. Now the tires that are on here are those 38C tires, but you'll see they're going to be the new Specialized Pathfinder Sport tire. So the Pathfinder tire is an awesome gravel tire. It's got kind of this perfect center line that goes through, which is going to make it roll pretty fast. And then you're going to have small amounts of tread to the side all the way over to very aggressive lugs on the side of this bike. So it's really going to allow you to be able to do all sorts of terrain while you're out there. Now the drivetrain, also very gravel specific. This is running SRAM's HRD or hydraulic road drivetrain. So this has the Apex 1x rear derailleur. So this is going to be an 11-speed derailleur running on an 11 to 42 Sunrace cassette, and it's going to be matched up on the front with a Praxis Alba crankset, which is a very nice aluminum crankset from a Californian company, and it's going to have a 40-tooth 1x chainring. So this chainring uses what Praxis Works calls their wave tooth pattern, which actually allows for almost a narrow wide design, but without the same friction. but this is going to be a cold forged chainring and a very strong and durable setup. The wheels on the bike are Axis Sport wheels. These are a fairly standard set of wheels from Specialized. They do this on quite a few of their different bikes, and this is probably the only place where I could see a real upgrade to be had with the bike. But the nice thing is, it does run at 12 by 100 front through axle, and then in the rear, it's going to be a 12 by 142. So this is standard gravel bike spacing, disc brake setup. Of course, it's 6 bolts on this bike, but you could run a whole bunch of different wheel sets on this bike, and even several that aren't too expensive that would be a huge upgrade. For brakes on the bike, this is going to have the SRAM Apex flat mount hydraulic disc brakes. These are going to be a very nice dot fluid hydraulic setup, and the levers that are on the bike are going to be nice as well. So this is a standard Hydro Road levers. It's something that you're going to see similar between many of the different SRAM models, but you'll notice with the 1x specific, it's going to have the double tap shift lever on the rear, but of course on the front shifter, it's going to be open without a shift lever. So that makes it nice because you really only have one control on this bike for shifting. Now the handlebar on the bike is definitely a little bit different than some of them. You can see this has basically a rise to it. So you can see the handlebar has a small rise to it. This is called the Adventure Gear Hover handlebar, but it's also got a 12-degree flare. And so that flare is going to make it really comfortable when you're down in the drops to be able to ride for long distances, kind of make more out of the same handlebar size. On the back end of the bike, this is running the Specialized Power saddle. This is Power Sport, which is a very comfortable saddle, steel rails to it. And then it's going to have a carbon fiber single bolt 27.2 seat post. So now that we've taken a look at some of the features and designs of this bike, let's go ahead and find out what it weighs. And the actual weight of the Diverge 1x in a 56 centimeter comes in at 20.48 pounds. Thanks for watching this video on the Specialized Diverge 1X. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know if you think this bike is a really great gravel bike to get out there, or what you would change to make it even better. While you're at it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, letting me know you enjoyed the video.